I'm back. Welcome to part 2. Please stop throwing thunderbolts at my health, please.
There was a portal, we were just kicking the Flux's ass. It's fine.
Yeah, we got you back, didn't we?
Alright, what was the last thing you heard?
Might be slightly singed.
The character, it's just, you guys, it's that death. Oh.
Okay, alright.
Okay. So yeah, Julius seeing and looking at her soul, it looks like it did before, but some of that pristineness has died down. It looks a bit more normal than before. And yeah, okay. What was your question, Wolf?
Given that she's been, I assume that, she's been taking care of him for however long he's been out, I assume, logically speaking, his jacket would not be on.
No, it is not.
As he looks at his hand, I assume he kind of, whoa.
Yes, yeah, he looks at his hand and it breaks, correct?
I assume he looks at not only at just his hand, but does he look at like his whole, do like a whole kind of just his hand?
No, just his hand.
Okay.
But he did reach out. I did say that. So when you saw him reach out, you would see that there's some rather thick bandages around his arm.
Fuck.
There's
I
nothing
assume
like
no.
seeping through or anything like that.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else before I continue?
No, because my next question, I already know the answer to, given off of what you said, so.
Yep, she checks him over. He asks what happened. She says that he has been out for 3 weeks. And the ceremony did not go as planned. The training was not enough, and the boy couldn't handle it. He might be dead. I'm not sure. I've been worried about you.
Julius, is she lying? Because we saw him portal those two out.
Well,
Granted, we don't know what happened after the portal, where they, where they went, what happened after they went through, but I feel like there's a contradiction there.
She is lying about not knowing if the boy's dead. She knows. She knows he's somewhere and he's alive. She doesn't know where, but she knows he's alive.
she knows the boy's alive, she just doesn't know where. As for the genuine concern, it seems that she's telling the truth, surprisingly.
It makes sense for her to... It makes sense for not knowing whether the boy's alive to be alive. She knew the affinity, if I recall correctly, would go back to Themis by default. So if he was dead, she would know. So I'm not surprised that's a lie.
That brings up the thing of, was she concerned for Themis' well-being, or was she concerned that at any moment the boy that had the affinity could die, and she would come back and see Themis with his
I'm leaning more towards the latter. Because if we're going off of that logic, if she's concerned that the boy might die, that makes it harder for her to get the affinity. Even if Themis is weakened by losing death, it's still harder to get disease from him than it would be whatever champion he gives it to. If we're going off of that theory. But I'm holding that with a grain of salt, even if it does make sense and hold a little bit more weight. Yeah, bro?
Shut up, you didn't see anything.
Nips out and everything.
You saw nothing.
That's for the
Just
Patreon.
Sweaters.
Julius and Levy group? What the fuck?
I'm good to continue if you guys are. I was looking on his arms to see if there were any signs of an IV, any needle marks, anything like that, but I can't see anything past the 50 million layers of bandages she wrapped him up in. Which makes sense if he got crushed by a fucking piece of a ceiling, you know, pretty fucked up. Gotta kinda keep that in place. Well.
There's a chance the entire building fell on him.
Oh, probably.
Should got him out immediately or waited until after the whole thing collapsed. Question.
Her affinities, from what I could tell, seem slightly weaker. Like she hadn't used them for a while, which leads me to believe that she either initially used them to stabilize him and hasn't used them since for whatever reason, or even prior to that just hadn't used them for a while. Which leads me to question why. She could have used her powers to either protect herself, get herself out, any number of things when shit hit the fan back then. But I didn't see any sign of her using anything at the time.
Good to
No,
continue. Alright. After she says that, Themis asks her what she's talking about. She explains it again, and he sounds confused. What do you mean ceremony? What boy? What are you talking about? And she takes a minute, tells him to just rest. And she needs to look at his arm, if that's okay. She at least tells him that he got crushed by some rocks. And he says, okay. She unravels the bandage, and as she is slowly doing it, you will see that the lower layers of the bandage are red, but not red like blood. Red like fire. Like if fire had a liquid form. Lava, I guess, would be the best bet. And he winces a bit, and she fully takes it off, and you will see these long veins on him, and they are filled with what looks like magma, and it is burning his flesh.
It's probably the war affinity taking over now that disease and death are gone.
Mhm.
I had to guess at least.
She places a hand on his arm, and her hand glows, and you would see, using magic sight, one of her affinities starts to activate, and you would see the war affinity get pushed back. but you would also see her cough out a bit of blood. This blood looks pure white. Like a drop of pure light is on the corner of her mouth. Artemis immediately looks concerned and...
Shut up, Julius!
Oh my god!
No, she's not that lucky.
It's glowing too! That makes it worse!
Yes, honey, I know. I'm sorry. It
Immediately hits her with the, you know what? No.
So didn't say anything when you know what? Never mind. I'm gonna shut up for purple taboo. Anyway.
Straight money.
Shit.
okay. Alright, let's get that contract.
Alright, you know what? I'm changing the color. It's blue. Fuck you.
No, keep the bid in. Keep the bid in.
Not allowed.
Keep the bid in.
I can do what I want.
She's a Smurf now.
Smurf seed.
We'll find a way to turn it around.
His used to be blue. Damn, that's the only way Themis could get lucky. Understood. Anyways.
Actually, no. Gray would just make it just as bad.
That'd make it worse. No, the glowing white blood is fine.
Look, it's just
In a room surrounded by degenerates.
it's just Chinese censorship.
Yeah, exactly. There we go.
Yes. Oh, fuck. Okay.
Anyway. Themis looks concerned and like tries to sit up and like asks if she's okay. When he reaches out for her, she noticeably reels back. She says she's fine. I'm fine, but you need to rest. You need to stay here.
Oh, that's
You're
dead.
not okay. I'll explain everything after.
Wow.
I need to go take care of this. And she motions to her face. And she very quickly leaves the room.
Well, if that's not suspicious, I don't know what is.
It could be PTSD from him hitting her. If I recall correctly, that happened several times. Could be a little bit of PTSD even though he's weakened. He only has war and famine left. Knowing what famine does in combination with, well, just, I imagine his body with the liquid fire pouring through his veins. His body's hot as shit. So she might not want to touch him, so I can see her reeling back from that. Just safety. Could be a mix of both.
For our DM, would we have seen any changes in her demeanor in the true sight thing? Demeanor.
Yeah, I was gonna go over the sites once everyone was done talking.
I'll just shut up.
No, I didn't mean that.
I know.
I figured the characters would have wanted to discuss what they had seen, and then I would have gone over the sites for everyone.
Oh, Ouija is hyper-focused for every time she pops up on screen, or if a part of Themis pops up on screen, for him to be able to
Gotcha.
see any changes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Question. Once the bandages were removed, were there any sign of any needle marks?
No.
Okay. Julius, did it hurt that much? Did your veins look like that when you got the war affinity?
It hurts. Yeah, probably.
Huh.
Alrighty.
Glad I don't have that shit.
You are using Detect Magic, you are using Soul Sight, you are using Soul Sight and True Sight, correct? Alrighty.
Correct.
Un momento, por favor. I'm gonna do that so that way I can separate them.
I'm going to move weird. I can still hear!
Dice man, I know I've been using you a lot. Thank you! Appreciate it. Had to think on that one for a sec. Oof.
Oh, excuse me.
Alrighty. So, left to right once again. Aaron!
Hi, how you doing?
Hi. With a 12, using your detect magic, you see the word in Themis, obviously. But in these little scratches that you can see, though there are not many, you can see very small bits of famine attempting to seep out, but it seems there's something keeping it at bay, though you can't quite tell what.
Okay.
When Thresha is in view, you can see her various affinities weakened. When she goes to use her power, you can see them glow brighter. More specifically, the peace one.
In fulfillment, I would assume.
No,
Oh, just peace? Okay.
just peace.
Okay. Right, because she's counteracting the war affinity.
You would see it glow brighter, and you would also see it, like, how do I describe this? Like, jolt, if that makes sense. Like, it got shocked. A bit.
Okay.
That's all you see. For Julius, with 14, you would see her soul looks very normal, like I said before. When she goes to use her affinity, you would notice that the soul gets that pristine look again, just slightly, before it convulges a bit. And for a split second, it looks a bit similar to Themis's chaotic soul, though not as chaotic, not as messy. But it looks similar before it goes back to being just a normal soul after she is done using her power. Ouija, with soul sight, you see the same thing as Julius does. So there's that. True sight, you see that her outward emotions are matching her true sight emotions, except for when Themis reaches out to her. Outwardly, she flinches and, like, backs up. True sight, she does back up, but she seems to bare her teeth, like, bare her fangs. Like, if you were to reach for a dog or, like, a cat that doesn't like you, and how they, like,
Defensive.
hiss, or, like, yeah, defensive. And anything else? Yes, and
Man, I should specify to make sure that you're using the right word. Defensive or threatened?
I would say probably threatened then.
Okay.
Like, they are trying to protect themselves.
Okay. So a bit of both. I just want to make sure because there can be a distinction between the two. So.
Gotcha. When she's, like, saying she has to go and outwardly she seems, like, nervous, true sight, she seems kind of done. She's, like, semi-glaring at Themis, but it's a glare, but you can tell there's, like, a bit of a sad look as she looks at Themis. Oh shit, right when he said that he didn't fucking remember. I'm sorry. My bad. I forgot about that. Bye.
You're good.
Soul is the same, detect magic's the same, true sight. When he says he doesn't remember, outwardly she's, like, thinking, like, huh. But true sight, she looks surprised and, like, shocked. And then she's thinking, but it's not like a huh, it's more like a oh.
kind of like a light bulb slightly went off.
Yeah. Like a interesting. And
Luigi's
that
eyes
is all
sorta
for this section.
squinted.
So, okay, yeah, so, just so that I'm clarifying for you, Oku, because I know I was all over the place there. So she comes in, outwardly and true sight, concerned, worried. When he says he doesn't remember, outwardly, she's like, huh? But inwardly, she's like, oh, interesting. When he goes to reach for her, outwardly, she like flinches and just backs away. Inwardly, she backs away, like, and baring her teeth or baring her fangs, like she got threatened or whatever. And then when she leaves, both outwardly and inwardly, she's just wanting to get out. There. So that way it's a perfect timeline, not all over the place.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Excuse me.
We're almost done.
You're good.
Okay.
It's because I'm not moving around or standing up or anything.
We'll fix it, bitch.
Nah.
Okay then, fuck you.
Well, her affinities sure got weak.
Their pristine
Which
look is
probably-
diminished. That this pristine look is diminishing. It looks
So I'm
normal
gonna assume the
now.
pristine look is potentially tied to the potency of the affinities, which slightly lends a little bit of validity to the theory of the effects of it. Does her soul seem weak in any degree or just less pristine?
Just less pristine.
Yeah, it looks the same to me, just less pristine.
So not necessarily fully valid, but...
I think you may also be somewhat correct in the whole thing with when Themis had all his affinities, the times that she was struck, maybe. When she left, first of all, inwardly she did seem concerned when she went to go to Themis. Still, whether that concern was for him actually, or as we said, possibly the concern of seeing disease or another affinity back inside of him if those two he chose as champions died. I'm not sure. But when he said he didn't remember what happened, and she was looking surprised, True Sight showed that while she was surprised, it wasn't a surprise still with worry, more of a, like an idea.
Opportunity.
Some type of interesting realization. Yes, an opportunity popped up. And when she left, it seemed more like she was baring her fangs at him instead of flinching. It wasn't a flinching, leaving in fear. It was more of a defensive type of thing. Almost like she was getting ready for an attack.
Makes
Getting ready to
sense.
strike back at any moment. So,
Given the history of abuse, it makes sense. Top that with the opposing affinities. If she saw an opportunity there, then that means that she, which we already knew, was willing to take advantage of whatever opportunity arose, even if it was taking advantage of an amnesiac Themis or anybody else that she presumably would. Forgot about that detail. Lily. She wasn't training Lily for her fucking life affinity. She was probably using that as a guise to try and get access to her fucking famine affinity. Now that I'm thinking about it. Sure, she might have actually trained Lily, but... given what we saw earlier with the note, and now with the opportunity light bulb lighting up in her head, that solidifies that in my head, which I'd need to... don't want to, but in the event that she was able to extract something or gain something, I need to ask Lily what they did together.
Didn't last I checked, Lily seemed very worried of mentioning things that they were doing together as far as training goes.
Which isn't helping my thoughts.
Yes, and then there's the entire thing with when Thresher decided to basically, whether it was astral projection or coming herself to Isaiah's place, and Lily had to get rid of her.
I forgot about that. That was a while back. Gonna have to ask her at some point. We need the whole picture as to what happened and what they did together. But that's later.
And maybe having one of us on guard outside while you talk, just in case.
Either that or Wicarium.
Invoking her name. That or Wicarium.
Wicarium has plenty of anti-scrying methods, not only just over the premises, but even more focused on the building, and even more so focused on the private rooms.
Good idea.
Yeah, I can... if it comes to it, I'm sure I can make a special request to the staff there to make sure that we are not disturbed under any circumstances. I'm sure they would be happy to oblige that.
Well, it wouldn't just be that, but also making sure Lily is comfortable enough to tell what it is. I would guess if she's being tight-lipped, there must be something that she knows that Thresher is possibly using to make sure information isn't being spilled.
Just another reason I'm thinking about using Wicarium is hopefully it's not a pact. But Wicarium has the artifact in place that brings everybody's magic, everybody's abilities, everybody's status in general down to a level where they are just a human. They're just a living being. Cripple, god, doesn't matter. So whatever she put on Lily, if she put something on her, wouldn't be able to be accessed while she's in Wicarium.
Another thing I was going to ask is, you were there when this happened, but have you heard anything from Jinx or that other ghost that contacted us a long time ago at the beach?
Haven't seen them lately.
She would try and get information.
I haven't necessarily tried to reach out. The easiest way that I knew to reach out was through Shelby, but obviously Shelby's been staying with you. I haven't had a chance to really go to any of her realms, if I'm even able to. I'm assuming I am, but I haven't really had much of an opportunity to between everything else going on, and I haven't seen Jinx or Violet. I think the other one's name was Violet. Going around.
I think so. Well, that's kind of worrying, considering the whole static cover we were seeing over Jinx's soul for a while. And the fact that Violet seemed to be worried and was talking about snooping around the soldiers that they had out there the nights to see how they operated to give us information. The fact that we haven't seen them in months. And enough time for us to kind of forget that that was a thing is kind of worrying.
Can see if I can potentially poke by one of Shelby's places and ask around, see if anybody's seen either one of them.
How you
and ask my
doing?
parents.
Mitsu.
Good
Mitsuri
idea.
Konroji. Oh, Demon Slayer reference. Okay.
Probably try and do that when I leave here.
Out of character, Kai. How has Shelby been doing at the house?
Bro, she big
Right.
chillin'. She's having a good time. Just on those wings.
She has been doing a lot better recently. I could also ask if we can get access to anything. She might know any places they might be.
Would be good to at least ask her so that she's aware we're going over there. I don't think she would mind, but still.
I'll make sure to ask when we're done here.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that was it. I'll make sure to go and ask when we're done here.
I'll stop by the house and grab something to eat, and then once you text me and let me know whether it's good or not, I'll head over and ask my parents and ask a few other people if they've seen her. Seen either one of them.
Got it.
Okay. So Thresha has left the room. Demis is just going to lean back and stare at the ceiling. He'll look at his hand for a moment, before he just lays it against his forehead. Sigh and just close his eyes, and that's the end of that memory. What would you like to look at next?
See, Julius, can you see if they have any, I guess, debriefings on what happened or any plans moving forward on anything they can do differently the next time a champion pops up, whether it's hers or his? Any potential fail-safes, any just changes in general to what they're gonna do to the champions?
Alright. Let's see.
A couple days later, they are in that room. Demis is sitting up. He has a cup of tea in his hands. Thresha is sitting on the edge of the bed, just gently rubbing his leg. And she is explaining everything that happened. She says that they had a plan to get the affinities out, but she does not mention herself. She only mentions Artemis, saying that they were corrupting his mind and he was not himself. And it took a lot of work on her part to convince him to get them out. He asks her what she means, and she goes silent and says she would rather not talk about it. He asks if he heard her. She doesn't answer. Themis puts the teacup down and apologizes. She doesn't say it's okay. She doesn't say that she forgives him. She just continues talking. And she says that they had two champions going through training, and how to deal with the two affinities that they were going to get, disease and death, respectively. And she says that the disease boy did not have the fortitude that we thought he had. And when he got the affinity, it corrupted him, and he fell into ruin. And the room that they were in started to crumble and decay. He asks what happened, and she says that she doesn't know. It was too quick. She just knows that 1 minute they were there and everything was crumbling. The next, she had to tell Themis to look out for some rubble. And then she was using every ounce of her power to keep them from being crushed alive. Julius, this is a lie. She knows that he portaled them out. So she knows that they, got out. And she knows that the disease power was not the only thing that ran rampant that day. When the disease power went off, you guys didn't roll high enough to notice it. Yeah? I heard your phone.
That wasn't my phone, that was a car driving by.
Oh, I thought that was just your phone vibrating. She knows that the death one also went active and had latched on to Themis. It wasn't much, but it had latched on. And that's why she is weak right now, having to fight that back. But she doesn't mention this to Themis. He asks what the plan is then for the other two, and he motions to his burning veins. And she says, candidates in mind, but they can't do it in a room like they did before. He asks where, and she tells him about this place that she found, and it is, have you all been there in character? No, you have not. Okay. She mentions this place, and she says that it'll be safe and it'll be protected, and if the power runs rampant, there will be safety measures in place to keep it at bay. Julius, this is a lie. It won't keep it at bay necessarily. It will just straight up snuff it out entirely. No one would get the affinity. It will just be gone entirely. Themis says, okay. He tries to ask if she's okay and tries to reach out again. She has the same reactions before. She tells him to just get rest, and she goes to leave. He says, okay, I love you. She stops dead in her tracks. Ouija, with your true sight, with her back to Themis, you would see her hand just like ball into a fist, like she's angry. And what you hear is the gritted teeth, and I love you too. What everyone else hears is just an I love you. And I love you too. Just regular. And she exits.
Would he have seen or heard anything else during the time of explaining everything to Demis on the side of the bed?
Outwardly, she's looking him straight on and just talking to him. True sight, she is not looking at him or acknowledging him. She's just looking ahead or looking down as she talks.
Kind of like instead of staring into somebody's eyes when you're talking, you're looking between their eyes at their nose.
No.
Oh,
So-
not even that?
So outwardly, she's like this, talking to Themis. True
Yeah.
sight, she's like this.
Ah, I see, okay.
Wasn't even looking at him the entire time that she was giving that entire spiel. Definitely seemed enraged, throwing her way out of the room was all I could see. And hear, to be honest.
It's either the tipping point or it's when she decided to just go close enough to balls to the wall and just say fuck it. In regards to her plan and just do whatever she deemed necessary at the time. And she seems very, from what you're saying, very fed up with him.
It seems a bit more than fed up. Part of me feels like maybe at the start there was some form of intention on trying to get rid of his affinities to make him be the way that he was originally, because obviously the affinities have been affecting his mind. But at some point during that, whatever good intentions or whatever there were, or good feelings, there seems to only be malice and plotting from her way that I'm seeing her through the true sight. When she left, her fists were balled, she was speaking to her teeth. She was sitting on the side of the bed. She was not looking at Themis at all. She was either looking at the wall or the ground as she spoke. Not even giving him really an afterthought. She might as well have just been speaking aloud to herself. There also comes this that popped into my head, that if she was able to see the amount of imperfection in Themis's affinities and the way they affected people, their possibility with the way, what we were saying before, how it might have her affinities affect her, that she is thinking, I don't want to say looking at him like some sort of pitiful creature, but more like a rabid animal. That something needs to be done about.
True.
I also want to point out, even though it's fairly obvious, and I'm sure you picked up on it, Julius, her saying that she used her powers to protect them is a load of shit, at least while he was awake.
Yes, we all saw him portal out the two champions, right? He was not looking up anything. As a matter of fact, the last thing we saw was her looking shocked, or this guy hit the face by a rope. So.
I need to make a correction. She was saying that she didn't know what happened to the boys, and she was using her power to protect them, as in Thresha and Themis.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
For me, at least, I know. But yeah, no, her using her power at any point in that is a load of shit. She didn't do a goddamn thing, at least while he was awake. Didn't even look like she wanted to try and help aside from call out to him.
Once again, is she really trying to help Themis to make sure the affinities can't continue to affect him the way that they are, and get him back to the way that he was when things were all right between them? Or is she trying to find a way to basically declaw him or put him down like a rabid dog?
I'm leaning towards the latter, but from what we just saw a moment ago... Oh, yeah. Given what we saw when she looked at Themis's arm, though, she probably couldn't have used her power, at least to any extent that would have been beneficial, without doing significant harm or worse to herself. Incapacitation or maybe even death. I doubt that last bit, that might be a stretch, but given she coughed up white blood off of just trying to calm down the wharf and excuse me, off of just trying to calm down the war affinity a bit with peace, I doubt she could have done anything without, like I said, seriously hurting herself or incapacitating herself. Not that I'm saying that that's, you know, oh yeah, no, you're totally fine for not using your pen. No, it's still fucking dick move, but there is reason, at least, to her not using her power at that time, going off of what we saw a moment ago. Now, for her to lie about it, while I'm not surprised, is intriguing. Because it shows a shift in her attitude where it's very manipulative, like we said. She's very much trying to take advantage of an amnesiac Themis, whereas before she was willing to confront him. She didn't care necessarily as much about what was said. If he needed to be told something, she said it.
True. And did you also catch on to the fact that when she was talking about the whole affinities being put to champions thing, she did not mention her own champions at all? It was just getting rid of Themis's final affinity.
I did pick up on that. I'm not entirely okay with that, but I am slightly willing to chalk that up to not jumping the gun. If they can't even get... I can see a line of thinking where, reasonably speaking, and these two are far from fucking reasonable, but reasonably speaking, if you can't even get the first set down, don't bother planning the second set. Especially with how different their plans, even though that was a lie, they're both their, you know, especially her side of things was full of shit. Especially with how different the two plans for the sets of affinities were, that would reasonably put a halt on her trying to get her own champions.
Well, my thing is, I'm wondering how many of those, or how much does she really want her own champions, considering
I doubt it all.
On paper was going to end up siphoning Themis's affinities. It was already getting champions was already just another way to get rid of his affinity in the first place.
If I were her, I wouldn't want champions with how weak I am.
Exactly. Which once again brings up what I've mentioned a few times. If Edna was just something to possibly say, look, I did the thing. But let's focus on you. I at least have one. We need to finish getting yours because yours are dangerous.
Right. We've shown how easily the life affinity specifically can be transferred. We've seen it with Edna. We've seen it with Dahlia. We've seen it with, Themis here when he was disguised as Fuckface McGee number 3. I don't remember the little shit's name, but there was a time period where Isaiah had the life affinity, at least a small segment of it, thanks to Themis in disguise over here, as a test. And from what we've seen, the transfer between them, or the sharedness, the splitting of it, whatever you want to call it, has been smooth with no to little issues. So she may not be too concerned about, like you said, if she does have to do a champion as a show of faith, it would be fairly easy from what we've witnessed for her to get it back. And we have to assume that she already did get it back. What little bit Edna had, at least.
True. I'm just worried about it since this is still the beginning when they're trying to figure out how all this works. Obviously, everything went to shit. And they tried
Right.
to get rid of the first two for him. But did she even get rid of the first one? Is Edna even a champion at this point, or is that going to come later?
Looked like from what I... Go ahead.
I was going to say, as we've seen in the memory, Themis seems to have snapped out of it, obviously, because, you know, disease isn't there to mess with the personality in a certain way. So, would he be concerned about it? Maybe he asked about it later and she decided to give it to him. And then
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh, I can get this back fairly easily. That's how she ends up learning. But right now,
Well,
this is fairly new. There's a lot
if
of
you think
questions.
of-
I am mentally
if you-
compiling.
When you think about it, it makes sense. One, from when I've been looking at her in the last two memory segments when they've been talking, I still saw all the affinities. Correct me if I'm wrong, GM. Okay. So at this point, she hasn't given Edna the life affinity, or any affinity. Two, doubling back to being able to take it back easily, life and all of its subsequent side of the affinities are all about giving. All about nurturing, giving, supplying, supplementing. So any of the affinities would be easy to do it with. Life would probably, out of all of them, be the best one for her to do it with, to show a sign of faith, like you said. So at whatever point she does it, I'm very curious to see, one, when that is, and two, how much, if all of it, and two, what she says for the reason when that comes up, if that even comes up between the two of them. For all we know, that may not have come until after they split up.
Fair.
Which it would be odd in its own right, but that's something for if that does come up.
Fair enough. Sorry to keep bringing it up because this just
I mean,
makes me realize. Once again, you said as you know, what you know of, only one champion for her. So assuming that she either has more, and we find out about that, or she has no champions other than Edna, or used to be Edna, if she's even still alive and has the affinity. She had all of her affinities otherwise. And if she got her life affinity from Edna, she now has all of her affinities, which could be a problem for when we go there. This extra information that I'm trying to keep in mind.
Yeah, no, you're fair. I am assuming Edna is dead out of the picture. That affinity that she had, whatever essence she had, is back with her. That is my assumption, just automatically off the gate. Even if she was still alive, if she showed up, she'd want to punch me in the face. That's gonna end up in a fight, I would bet fucking money, depending on where we are. We didn't leave off on exactly the best of terms. To a degree, I essentially told her to go fuck herself.
I see. Well,
If I recall correctly, I more specifically called her a shit mother and that she could go fuck herself, or something akin to that. But it's been almost a year and a half since we last spoke to each other and since I last saw her. So,
well, if she even knows parts of the fact that Russia is running around and doing who knows what, I highly doubt that she's going to be coming out of hiding if she's still alive.
she's probably gonna be on her side. She was just as much with this whole cycle bullshit and everything having a purpose and staying in its lane as she was, if not more so. Yeah, so it would be very, very easy for her to coerce Edna or keep her on her side. If she's still alive, but...
Which kind of brings things also back to Lily, since from what I heard of the two of them speaking, that was kind of the teachings that Russia was still trying to impart on their mission.
Which I don't think was actually what was the core of it. I think that whatever teachings that were being given, like I said earlier, were just a front, a load of bullshit, so that she could try and get closer to Lily to get access or study or whatever the case might be for the famine affinity that Lily has. Which we have to assume went fairly well in her favor, given we saw faint traces of the famine affinity at the gravesite, if I recall correctly. Now, that could have also been taken from Thanatos' castle, any of the labs, what have you, but regardless, if I recall correctly, we did see famine at the gravesite to a tiny degree.
We're going to just keep going around in circles, probably looking at the videos. I will say this though, with the cursed one thawing, this is the only grandmother I'm hoping gets run over by a reindeer this year.
All right.
Anything else before we continue?
Not that I can think of, no.
Alrighty, what do you want to look at next?
We're trying to focus on Thresha here, so worrying about Themis' champions probably isn't going to yield too much fruit. We might be able to glean if she did anything prior to the champions to prepare them, but probably better off trying to skip ahead to see if she did say anything about her own champions. It's up to y'all if you want to keep following Themis' champions to see if anything was done from Thresha's end to, well, magically or otherwise.
Well, that would be the thing, looking for stuff with direct Russia interference. So far, what we've gleaned is a few things on her affinities, which is good. We do need more in the fact that by this time, she may not have been openly hostile to Themis, but the hostility was definitely there and in full force. Just hidden.
Scheming.
Exactly.
We can continue with Themis' champions and see if any mention or anything gets done as interference. See if we can glean anything. We know peace is a thing, and we know that it can very easily, from what we've glimpsed a moment ago, calm down the war affinity. Wait, can we go back to that and see how he felt when that happened?
Raise her back.
Going back, and when she uses her piece to calm down his war affinity, it feels like a sense of calm in his arm. Like what felt like a burning sensation, like pain, now felt like a nice, cool, breeze, I guess. It's the same as when you have a burn and you put an ointment on it.
Okay.
And that nice, like, cool feeling it gets to, like, heal it.
Are there any visible, anything visible going on when she does it? I know her hand glowed, but like in terms of like the magma in his veins,
Yes,
is there any?
I said before that it dialed back. like
Okay. I didn't know if there was any color shift or if it just
I
like
guess,
calmed the boil down.
it calmed the boil down and it like got a bit duller. It's still there, but not as bright, I guess.
It's like magma cooling down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything
Remember that. You might want to try and remember that, Julius. That way, when the time comes and when you try to give us all the boon, or even just yourself, you know what to keep a feeling out for when it tries to get nullified.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have anything else I can think of. I'm also trying to keep an eye on any interactions between the two of them, not just relating to her interfering with the champions, but anytime she tries to do anything to him.
Mm-hmm. Trust me, I have an eye out. Well, damn near every move she makes.
Let's
Alrighty.
continue then.
Are you continuing with the champion search, or is it changing? I'm just making sure.
Continue the
We
champion
have 2
search.
more videos.
Yep, there are 2 more, but I want to make sure.
I'm fine with continuing the champion thing.
Alrighty.
Back to where we left off and press play.
Alright.
I do have something I'll revisit after we finish the champion thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I gotta sneeze, but it's stuck.
Achoo!
Bless you.
It's stuck.
Big back pat. Hold on, I got you.
I fucking
Use
chew.
this tail fluff. Tail fluff under your nose. Tickle, 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 tickle.
Shut the fuck up. Anyways, the next video that plays, they are in a field. And Themis feels nervous. He looks at Thresha. Thresha looks stern, like she did before. But there's a slight bit of, I guess, alertness. And when she looks at Themis, her eyes seem to soften. She just gently motions him forward and says to reduce your power for your champions. Ouija with true sight. What others see as her eyes softening, you see as her eyes hardening. As she squints at Themis.
Pause. Wait.
As Themis walks forward, he puts his hand out and takes the hand of... Oh, go ahead.
Is the eyes squinting kind of in a anticipation type of thing, or calculate? I guess.
And I'm watching you.
Gotcha.
As he walks forward, he takes the hand of the figure on the left, who looks like a very young-looking Moor. Fuck it, think My Day from Honkai, because fuck it, why not?
Gotcha.
Heard.
Aaron's just gonna kind of point like, who the fuck is that one? Because he hasn't seen War.
No, he hasn't.
That's-
Standing next to him is
Julie, this is
looking young family.
this Julius's predecessor, right? I mean,
As a boy, yeah.
that's War, my predecessor, as a boy.
Huh. Finally put a face to the fucker at least. He was long gone by the time I came around.
Yes.
Well, pretty much all of them were, to be honest, but...
As Themis takes his hand, you will see the... You will see the magma that is in his veins begin to glow. He turns War's hand over and he gently cuts his hand open. And he cuts his own hand. Themis cuts his own hand. And he starts to very slowly drip his blood into War's wound. And the magma that is in his veins very quickly starts to seep out in a very steady stream into War's wound. You'll see War flinch and like grit his teeth in pain. And you will see him get some like fur around his neck. You'll see him grow some fangs. You will see him get a very lion-like look to him as the magma stops. Themis looks at Thresha a bit worried. Thresha just shakes her head like saying it's fine and motions towards Famine. He goes to Famine and he just places his hand on Famine's head, and you would see Famine's skin start to turn very dark and kind of sickly looking, and it would slowly encapsulate his whole body. And Themis staggers back, kind of like shake his head. His vision starts to blur a bit. He looks at Thresha, who is just walking towards him, not even rushing or anything like that, just idly walking towards him. She tells the other two that they are free to go, and best of luck in their stations. She takes Themis to nearby. Thanks, Dad. Takes Themis to a nearby ledge and just sets him down. Asks him if he's okay. He tries to talk, but he can't, really. He looks at Thresha, and Thresha's just staring at him, thinking. Not really saying much. They'll sit here for a few minutes before she takes them back to their home and puts them in bed and tells them to go to sleep. Not even to get rest, just tells them to go to sleep. Ouija for through sight. During that whole interaction, her outward pretty much matches what her true sight's thinking and feeling looks like. The only difference is when she's there sitting and thinking, just staring at Themis, her true sight is sitting there thinking, but very slightly you can see a hint of a smile. It's not big, but you can see it. Detect, thanks Dad. With detect magic, you would see the affinities go into their designated champions, obviously. You would also see her own magic at this point has gone back to being strong.
All of the affinities are still there?
Okay. All the affinities are still there and they are back to being strong. Yep, that's all you see with detect magic. For soul sight, you would see that her soul is back to being a bit too pristine and too perfect. That is it.
Now, question.
Yeah.
You specifically used the word strong, not equating it to full power. Am I assuming that correctly?
It looks back to the full strength that you had seen before it got weakened.
Okay. I wanted that clarification. Okay. Jesus. Okay, Call of Duty's a comedy game now. Got it.
My dad's losing it, man. Anyways, anything else?
Not that I can think of.
Okay.
No.
Nope. No questions? Alright, then we will move on to the very last one.
Alright, for this last one.
Alright, you will see that this time it is Themis watching Russia. And there is a woman, a very young looking Edna, standing in front of her. Russia looks her up and down, and takes a walk around her, and begins to ask her questions. Are you sure about this? Do you have what it takes? This is not child's play. So on and so forth. Edna responds that she's ready. This is what she's been training for. And she retorts back, or was it all worthless, or did you just waste my time? Russia sprouts her wings and tells her to watch her mouth. Edna does not back down. She says, I learned from the best. Russia stops to ponder, puts her wings away, and says, you're ready. She puts her hand out for Edna to take. Edna very slowly takes it. And you will see a very bright light begin to flow from Russia to Edna. It's not blinding, but it's definitely bright. You will see Themis kind of flinch a bit, though he doesn't know why. And with Detect Magic, you will see one of the affinities on Thresha dwindle and fizzle out.
Life, I assume.
Yep, and that affinity goes to Edna. With Soul Sight, you will see Thresha's soul that was a bit too pristine get slightly more normal, and you will see Edna's soul get a slightly bit too perfect. True Sight. With True Sight on Thresha, you will see that she has a semi-proud look on her face as she looks at Edna, but also steals glances over at Themis. Once it is done, she tells Edna, best of luck, don't cause trouble, I will not be there to help you if you do. Edna says okay, and she gets portaled out. When Thresha goes over to Themis, Themis asks how she's feeling. She okay? Thresha just walks straight past him, doesn't acknowledge him. Themis looks and feels concerned. It's almost like this has become a norm.
Mm-hmm.
So he follows her and asks her again, but this time a bit louder. She kind of waves her hand, just says, I'm fine. I'm not like you. I know what I'm doing. You feel a pang as Themis reels back a bit, but he shakes it off. Anything else with her power stuff that would be happening at this point? After a bit, they'll walk and they'll go to a room. It looks like the same meeting room that they had been in before when they were first talking about the champions.
Mm-hmm.
And he asks, "So what now?" And she says, "I don't think you need to be there for the next few." He asks why. She says, "All you are right now is just dead weight in the corner. Doesn't really make sense for you to be there. You could be doing something actually useful." She motions to the various books on the shelves, the papers on the table. He flinches at her words, but he doesn't argue. She thinks for a moment. She goes to leave, and Thomas stops her. He tries to say that if she needs help, he's here, and he's not sure what's happened between them, but if he did something wrong, then he would like to fix it. Then Thresha just looks at him for a minute and just gently takes his hand off her. She doesn't shake it off. She doesn't just push him away or anything. She just gently takes it off and says, "We'll see." It's a true sight, Luigi. What you hear, though, is, "I don't know if I can forgive you, so it's better for me to do things myself." Before she leaves. Throughout the whole interaction, her true sight, her inward is the same as her outward. That was the only difference.
Was there anything else with her soul sight that you've seen?
Other than
Or is it just the same?
Other than when she was giving her power to Edna, nothing. Which, again, when she was giving her power to Edna, it went from looking too pristine to a slightly bit more normal. And then Edna's went from looking normal to a slightly bit too pristine.
Well, I'm just checking. No overly chaotic warping or even a hint of
Nope.
what was going on inside them.
Nope.
Well, explains where Edna got the absent motherfucking bit from. And that on top of her, quote-unquote, being trapped by Thanatos, but...
Well, Russia did seem very proud on making a miniature her.
Of course she
She
would.
was standing in front of her.
It seems she did it first try, too, so... Of course she'd be proud. Like she said before, she's not him.
Yes, and on that, there's a couple of things. First being, for the most part, her inner and outer put them in sync. Except
So she
when
stopped hiding it.
Except when she was leaving, there's something about not being sure if she can forgive Themis and would rather just do things her own way and by herself versus the whatever you But
So it
I'm
seems
starting to
this...
wonder.
Go ahead.
You can go first, but I have mine. Will take a second. It might put us off track. So
I was gonna say, so it seems this whole thing went from trying to make him better to borderline pity almost at one point, it seemed like, to being hurt slash hateful to now just pretty much revenge.
that is what it's seeming partially to me. Because you heard what she said. Now, he's basically dead weight in the corner now that the majority of his powers are gone. Just like I mentioned earlier, the dangerous animal has been declawed and is no longer a serious threat to her. So there's no longer a reason for her to pay it any attention or any mind. Is what it is seeing, other than torment for any past transgressions he had. Which is, I'm about to also bring up the level of amnesia that he seems to be suffering from does not make sense if it came from the injury he had.
I was thinking the same thing.
Which is making me begin to believe if this version of Themis that ended up appearing after disease and death were taking out is the actual Themis that was there originally. Is it possible that the effect on his personality that disease has had was supercharged, for a simple way of putting it, to the point that it almost likely wasn't him at all that was going on through that entire time? That the memories, therefore after, were gone because they weren't his in the first place. Or locked away, I guess, considering we're viewing it now.
I can see that line of thinking. I'll counter it with my own thoughts. I'm wondering if the first segment of that being right, disease completely altering him, and what we're seeing now is, and this is where I'm going to differ, closer to actual Themis. We don't fully know what the peace affinity is, the main one that pops to mind, is capable of, or most of her affinities, but in this one, the peace one, it's possible that as a side effect of whatever she did, I think she manipulated him after the injury, took advantage of the potential amnesia from the injury, saw the lapse, and decided to try and take advantage of that and either further the amnesia, using whatever affinity would be applicable, which would probably be peace, considering that would be calming some aggressive memories. On top of the aggressive war affinity at the beginning, and furthering that by, again, presumably peace, making him docile, making him into what we see here. The tiny, shrunken back little boy that we're seeing.
Hello, Mr. Kyle.
I think I agree a bit more with what you're saying, because I did not take into account the fact that she could have used the affinity to alter his personality in any sort of way, but that is a good point that you have brought.
The memory part I'm iffy on, but the attitude, the mentality, the turning him into, like I said, the shrunken back little boy, because that's, be honest, that's what he fucking is here. There's no other way to word it. I can fully see that being the peace affinity doing that.
I'm good.
It's a little bit of mad, considering that he himself was able to tamper with memories even when he doesn't have the rest of his affinity. So it's saying that she can't do the same, especially if he's now weakened from being down 2 affinities.
There's also nothing saying that there may not have been an alchemical component to it also. He was out for 3 weeks, she said.
True.
Thanks.
So, while he was out, she could have put something in, I would assume an IV, for instance, or, not that I saw any needle marks, but she's got the affinities to heal that and hide it.
Even if it
Now
wasn't
that's-
an IV, it could just be injections. And it's
Could just be
possible
through
to less
tea.
noticeable. Could be through tea. After he woke look up and he's
Well,
showing
I
signs
hope
of
you're
it,
having fun.
you could just capitalized on.
But again, there's no grounds for the alchemical bit being in place, and I don't have any solid grounds for the peace affinity altering the memories. But I would bet money on the peace affinity being the primary reason he's turned into this docile husk at this time.
Well, part of the reason we're here is to see her use her affinities so that we can see their makeup, reverse engineer them to exactly what they do. So hopefully we'll get an answer to that.
Well, she didn't, aside from using the peace affinity on the war affinity to calm it down in his blood before he got rid of it, haven't really seen her do too much with it aside from flashbang you and do that several times. But that was just kind of a flashbang of everything. That wasn't her projecting it for an effect. That was just more so a pulling out her dick because she can.
Well, we have been kind of focused on the last 6 memories were for the,
Champions.
what are they called? The champions.
And we did see her.
Action.
And we did see Edna. Ow, fuck.
Yeah, you good?
Yep, just drop my hand.
Alright.
It's fine.
Yeah. We haven't really looked into the other things. We were focused on the champions and seeing if there was, in fact, or if we could get information on there being other ones. But we can
She
also use the
said there
search
were
to see
others.
She said. We can also use the search to see if there was any times that she used these other names. And even
We
if we don't find
could.
that, we will also be able to see more of her and see if her affinities have actually dwindled.
That was gonna be the
She
next.
actually gave things away.
Another thing that I'm curious about, she pointed to a bunch of books, papers on a table, on desks, and just crap over there. Hopefully it's not crap, hopefully there's usable stuff, but at some point it may be worth pausing at occasional points as Themis is potentially looking down or looking at the books, looking at the papers, see if we see anything noteworthy there of maybe even just something like her own research as to suitable candidates for her affinities, what she might need to do, even something as like studying diseases affinities or notes of him being left that she just might not have hidden in time or at the time.
Right.
But that's a more back burner thing. For now, I say I'll be jumping ahead a lot, and we'd have to jump back.
I say we come up with a few ideas and put them in line. And just go from there. It'll be easy to daisy chain them. We do need some things of her use affinities other than as a God's damn
Calling.
flashlight.
Oh, that too, yeah. What about... If I remember right, Themis said the tables turn. We saw him being abusive, but he said that she also was to him. What if we look at some of the as much as we won't like it, but we're not there to watch him get his ass beat. We're there to see if she uses any affinities to do it.
We can do that. And, well, I guarantee you if she's trying to strike him or do something else, his eyes will be on her, so we can see if the affinities are still there.
That's another thing I was gonna check.
See if there's been any changes to her true form, considering, once again, the tail. Wondering how that came to be.
I say let's see if we can find the first instance where she struck him or lashed out. I don't think they would have had any sparring sessions, so... No, I don't think they would have had any sparring sessions. That doesn't make sense. So I guess the first time that they got into a physical altercation, see if she used any of her affinities during that, see if she has any affinities left, and check her true form, and see how her soul's doing on top of it.
Yep.
Oh, is he dead? Nope, nope, he's alive, okay. Just making sure you weren't dead.
Oh, think so. Okay.
Yeah, making sure Julius was still
What are
alive.
you doing next?
Looking for the first physical altercation between Themis or between Thresha and Themis. So where she first, like, attacked him or struck him, you know.
The memory that would pop up would be back when he had his disease affinity.
Okay.
When he had grabbed
This
her
is a
face
whole lot of lore we're going
and,
over.
attempted to kiss her, and she slapped him.
Okay. Were any affinities of hers used in self-defense?
Yes.
Or was it just physical slap? Okay.
When
Which affinity?
When he went to take a step forward, you would see a very bright light appear on her wings as she spreads them out, and he flinches, reels back. At this point, it is weak, so it's not blinding like you saw in the one meeting, but it is enough to pull him back.
Stagger.
Yeah. One sec. Okay. Anyways, Dad's turn. You would see the you would see the restoration affinity get activated and push him back. And he scoffs and leaves the room.
Did it leave an effect on him? Did he feel anything, like, as the restoration affinity hit him?
He would feel a singeing sensation. Not burning, singeing.
Okay.
Like, the closer he is to it, the more
Gotcha.
he felt it. And as he
Gotcha.
left, it dulled and went away.
Okay. As a restoration affinity, makes sense that it would singe given their direct fucking opposites. Useful for Themis to know, which I'm sure he's already aware of, not necessarily as useful for the rest of us. Still worth making note of.
Right. Well,
Is there anything else that you are looking at?
I assume at this point she still has all her affinities, and it's early, but she still has them all.
At this point, yes, because he still has his
Disease affinity.
disease. Yes.
Gotcha.
But the memory is over. Is there any other memories that you would be looking at? Oh, wait, hold on.
We
Pause
should
that.
probably-
Yeah, so cool.
oh, I was gonna say in character, we should probably switch the search from the first time that she, went on the offense against him, whether that was, in self-defense or whatnot, to post.
After the affinities. I was about to say that.
Okay, So just so I am clear, the search is going to be after the champions when she has attacked Themis.
Correct.
Yes.
A lot of results will pop up. 3 to 4 pages worth.
Oh, oh boy.
Not all of them are physical attacks, but each one is an instance of where she has attacked Themis in some capacity.
Oh boy.
And narrow down searches by typing in affinities or putting the actual names of them in.
Any specific ones?
No. Oh,
I don't really have a specific one to go.
I don't either. Because we're just here to see any of her affinities. So anytime any of her affinities flared up would be useful, which probably would yield a shit ton more results, but since she would be more aggressive with it, it would give us a solid idea of what they're capable of. So any of them, and God, that's so fucking many.
We can
Yeah.
also see the first time that she actually decided to do it, just so we know how much time passed from
Let's see. Let me
the Edna situation or yeah,
give me a second.
either the Edna situation or when he had his champions too. When she finally either got old enough or irritated enough to actually strike.
Uh-oh.
Since like 1 or 2 times before his affinities got extracted into the champions, and then 1 or 2 times after.
Hmm.
I'm thinking
As a
How
as
about...
comparison.
yeah,
Yes.
and we could do 1 or 2 per affinity. That way, we're not just sitting here looking through them all. So, yeah.
There should be some that are going
Zex
to
was
be
trying to say
probably
something.
higher. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Zexel.
Hmm.
Sorry.
Affinity abilities. Let's try this. Let's see if that narrows it down.
Just so I am clear, you are now trying to refine the search to when she used her affinity specifically on Themis, correct?
Yes.
Alright, is the time going to be still after the champions?
Yes. After the champions.
There's now 2 pages worth.
That took a downward page.
Oh, that helps. I would say pull up 1 or 2 instances of each affinity. I would say 1 would be a good starting point. If we're curious about an affinity, we can pull up a second example after.
Sure.
Alright.
I was going to say find the earliest one out of those also, so we can see how much time passed since he had his champion that she did. How long did it take her to end up deciding to get physical, I guess.
I see, okay. I see what you mean.
Alright. Since there's
Could,
4.
well, could check those by date, so could cross-reference the date from the last,
You will notice that the memories automatically pop up in order of from earliest to latest, like so earliest memory to like
most recent.
present, the most recent, yes.
Well, there we
Automatically.
Oh, there we go.
Are you able to open up 2 tabs on this?
Hmm.
You could technically.
Just want to see when the champions were extracted, see the rough date of that, so that we can see, like Ouija said, how long it took between that last champion being put into place versus the earliest recorded instance of her getting physical.
Alright then, I'll do so.
two tabs, they have a slight red outline on them. Like the tabs themselves have a slight red outline.
Alright, here we
Do I
go.
need to be concerned about that?
Given the way he moaned, groaned like that, it might be an issue. I say let's
If
not
we need to
push.
cut, if we need to cut it, we can cut it and try to come back to it at a later date. We might have pushed him, but see how at least the first one goes. Take it from there.
Okay, what are you doing with these tabs?
Alright. Alright, we got two. So which one should we cover first?
Well, right now, we don't need to really play back the last champion. We just need that up for the date or time period. So we
Okay.
can just have that off to the side, and then we can watch the first instance of her getting physical or her using her affinities on him. And we can see how long it took
Alright.
while also watching to see the effects.
Okay, we'll do that.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, in the corner you have the which champion? The disease and death, or
The last
famine?
champion. The
Edna?
War and Famine.
Okay, War and
No, his last champion, so yeah, War and Famine.
Okay, you have
Just
his
have it
last
there
champion.
to
Yeah,
check
for
the dates. Yeah.
check the date. Okay. And then the very first instance of her using her affinities on them.
Mm,
Yeah.
yes.
Post affinity date.
Okay. They are about 4 months apart.
Looks like they're all 4 months apart. What it looks like?
That was sooner than I expected.
Well, let me be honest, it was longer than I expected, but either way, it's quick.
Yeah.
Alright, well, let's play it out. Keep an eye on it, make sure we don't need to.
If
Oh, yeah, you
he's
can close the extra tab.
Yeah.
close the extra one now.
Yeah, we don't need it anymore.
Okay. That closes. Back to 1.
Alright, when you close the tab, the one tab that you now have loses the red outline. No longer has that.
Okay.
More than one tab might put too much mental strain on.
Either
Yes.
that or it might just be for organization so that you can see the edges properly of each memory.
Let's just not.
Might
Let's-
say
Maybe.
that because he started groaning after the second
Mm.
tab popped up.
Well, let's go ahead and play it.
Alright, playing the memory, you see that Themis is just sitting on a chair, and it's in the meeting room, and he's staring at the table, twiddling his thumbs. Brescia is asking him where the documents went. He says he doesn't know, he probably misplaced them. She says again, says, yes, I'm trying my best, but you have a lot of papers around, you don't keep them organized. And right as he goes to say that, she slams on the table. He flinches. She says, wait, no, she doesn't say anything yet. She walks over to stand beside him and says to look up. He doesn't at first. And you feel, yeah, well, he doesn't see his hair get yanked, but
Yeah,
you know
it's
that his
clear.
hair got yanked. It's
Yeah.
clear that
Yeah.
his hair got yanked, and his head gets yanked up to look at Thrasher. And she is staring him down, glaring almost, and says, do your job. And he gets a bit bold and says that he is. It's not his fault that she's not doing hers. He takes a second. She releases him, steps back. She crosses her arms. And you see her wave her hand. You see puppet strings appear and yank him up towards the ceiling.
Oh,
He tries to get loose. He can't. What you see with Detect Magic is the Stillness Affinity activate. Okay, car. Anyways. The Stillness
Okay.
You see the Stillness Affinity activate. And now at this point, her affinities are pretty much on par with what you had seen when you last fought. Wait, no. Not hers. That misses. That's what I meant. My bad. Her affinities at this point are on par with Themis's and his full strength.
Mm-hmm. Back when he had everything.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
She tells him to stay in his lane, keep his mouth shut, and there won't be any problems. He knows what will happen if he doesn't. She releases it, and
Question.
falls. Oh, go ahead.
When you say he knows what will happen if he doesn't, does any image pop into his mind?
Yes, there is a dark room. You don't see anything, but you can hear Themis crying.
He is going to flick through his sights like Spirit Box again, because I don't remember out of character which two of his sights have the passive of Dark Vision. So it's just kind of flickering between them to activate Dark Vision. Magical Dark Vision, I should specify. To see if he can see through the darkness and see where the fuck he is.
So, Magic Sight, Soul Sight, True Sight, anything else?
No.
Okay. Magic Sight. You don't see a goddamn thing. It's too dark. It's fucking
Okay.
dark, Chief. You got in that one.
Gotcha.
Soul Sight. There's no one else. It's just Themis in the room.
Okay.
True Sight. Based on what True Sight is, I personally would say that it has dark vision, just because it's taking in the truest form of what something is. And while the room is technically dark, it's a room. So, for me,
Right.
I would say that there's something that you see. And you would see that
Okay.
this room is not big. Like, there's barely enough room for Themis in there. And he's, I don't want to say gravely injured, but he is very much injured and there is blood beneath him.
oh.
Does he have... I assume he's kind of looking down as he's crying. Can he see... Are any of the wounds in sight?
You cannot tell, not just because of how he is sitting, but because his tears are blurring his vision. Also,
Gotcha.
keep in mind that this is a split-second image, only lasting like 2 or 3 seconds at most.
Well, he's flickering through it for a few seconds. That's why I'm asking.
Oh, I mean
So-
the image of the room itself.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Is
Okay.
only lasting like a few seconds, because when she says, "You know what will happen," that pops in his mind and then goes back.
Gotcha.
Like a flashback. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, it's not gonna be there for a long time.
Gotcha.
So you see that as she says that, she releases him, he falls, and he lands on his arm, and you hear a loud break.
Oh.
He screams.
Ow.
You see Brescia just slowly walk to him and grab the arm that broke and yank him up to his feet. He's in pain, he's crying. She rolls her eyes, and you see the peace affinity activate as she... Heal is a strong word for what happens. It's like she sets the arm to be, okay, but in the wrong way.
Okay.
So, the arm is okay, it's no longer hurting, but in order for it to be fully healed, he might have to break it again in the future to reset.
Gotcha, okay.
She says, let this be a reminder for you to watch your mouth. Now get back to work. He says, okay. He shuffles back to his chair. You hear the door open and close. He sits there for a minute, looks at his very clearly broken arm. He sighs, and he breaks it again, screaming in pain. And he uses a bit of time magic on it to set the bone correctly. And you can feel this pulling sensation coming from out of him and into his arm. And his arm is fine again. And he gets back to work.
Well, that's no way to treat your partner. Quote
This
unquote.
they're not partners, yeah.
But still,
Seemed he was no stronger than your average human, going off of how easily that bone broke. So that was stillness and peace. We know peace has a pseudo-healing effect now. So that's useful. And we knew about the strings, and now we know that that's tied to the stillness affinity.
Dahlia acts through the soul bond if you are okay.
I'm trying to keep my cool down. Like, we're looking through Nemesis memories, and this bitch gotta go. I know you don't care much for him, but given what I'm looking at,
She very gently gives you a hug through the soul bond, sends you some calming emotions so you can focus. And kisses your cheek.
We need fulfillment still. That might be a hard one to find. I don't know how the fuck she would use that. Aside from maybe if he was hungry, she'd decide to trick his body into thinking he was full. But, and try and narrow down the search to fulfillment. Life and Restoration we have down, thanks to Dahlia, and I believe we saw some restoration throughout the memories a little bit. Stillness we just saw, Peace we've seen a few times.
Now, fulfillment, which will be, like you said, will be tough.
Are you searching directly for
Fulfillment?
Let's try
Yes.
again for our English-speaking friends. There we go. Are you searching directly for instances where she attacked Themis with the power of fulfillment after the champions?
Correct.
Okay. Two results pop up.
We got something. Only two.
Pull one up.
I'll just pull up the first one.
First one that pops up, Themis is in a field collecting samples, it looks like. Thresha appears, asks him how it's coming along. He gives a status report, much like just a worker giving a manager, like just a regular status report.
She's
And it does not seem like Thresha is liking what she's hearing. She asks him why he hasn't done more, and he says that he's trying, but the samples that she needs are hard to find. And now that she doesn't have her affinity to just get them, it makes it difficult, especially considering this species of flora and fauna is endangered. She says that's no excuse. He attempts to backpedal and says that he'll try harder. And she says, yes, you will. And she puts a hand on his shoulder. And this odd sensation goes through Themis. And the multiple things he had on his mind, you know, the different tasks that he had, like if it was a task list, he had various different pinpoints. All of them seem to be disappearing, except for one. Collect the samples. And he sits there, dazed for a second. Then he shakes his head, greets her again, like she just arrived. And she asks how he's going, and he gives her the status report. And she says, continue. You better have more results the next time that we talk. He says he will. He made it his top priority.
memory altering. What it looks like, memory alteration.
There goes the amnesia.
Jesus.
That's gonna be a tricky one to fucking work around. What about the second one? She made physical contact on that one. Also looking at her, what affinities? Does she still have all the other affinities minus life?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, she has this entire point.
True sight. From the time
Oh.
that she showed up so far.
True sight, from everything that you've seen so far, one and the same for outward and inward. Her true sight, like, form has not been present this entire time, but as far as, like, demeanor and all that, one and the same this entire time.
Okay.
Alright,
Pull
second
up
one.
the second. See if
What's the
we can pick up anything new from there.
kind difference between the first and second one? Are they both 4 months
3
apart?
weeks.
3 weeks. Okay. Second one.
Alright, the second one, Artemis is in, what was he doing for the second fulfillment one? No, not that. Okay. He is in a garden. He seems content. He's just watering some flowers and playing with a butterfly. He looks and feels happy for once. And Russia slowly appears, asks him what he's doing. He says he's taking a break, and he very quickly says that he finished his tasks. And he shows her and motions to her that he completed everything already. And very quickly says that if she has more work, that's fine, but he wanted to take a quick break. She says, okay. Who's that? It's a butterfly. He says, just a bug. It looks pretty, though. He kind of just looks at him and tells him that there's prettier things in life than just flowers and bugs. He kind of jokingly says, what, you? She shrugs and looks around the garden. Artemis looks back at the flowers, so you can't quite see what Russia's doing or how she looks. But she walks to Themis and sits down. And she says that while this garden is pretty, I think it's just a distraction for you. He says, what do you mean? And she just looks at him, kind of gently caresses his cheek. And there's that same odd sensation that runs over him. And that happiness and that comfort he felt slowly just turns into disinterest. Like what he's seeing is just grass. Just another mundane thing. And he looks dazed. He kind of shakes it off. He looks at Prussia, greets her again. She says, what's he doing? He says, just sitting here, I guess. We're done with everything. She says she has some more work for him to do. He says, okay, he's not really doing anything anyway. They get up and they leave.
So it looks like fulfillment is contact based. And so the best thing is don't let her touch you. So because if she does, she'll alter your memories or at least give you something else to do.
It's like a brief memory loop, almost, where you'll have something happen and you'll loop back. And it replays in a different way, which is intriguing because you would think that that would fall under time's jurisdiction.
With a 17. Oh, boy. Okay. Ow.
As she's resetting your memory to when she first got there, basically erasing not only the feelings associated with what you may have been focusing on or doing, but the memory associated with it. Considering how his enjoyment of the field or his garden slipped away with the memories. Almost like it's taking both at the same time. The fulfillment and the safety he felt in the garden, along with the memories of that fulfillment, I guess, is a way that I'm seeing it. Now the question is there a time limit to it, or is she able to just take away as much as she wants, as far back as she wants? Or is it only in sudden, a few seconds, a few minutes, a few hour periods?
We'll have to look around not just for time she's used it on him. This will probably be for another day if we have to delve back in here. But just seeing when she's used it in general around him, see effects on other people. We should start working on our mental fortitude training also. To a small degree, just in case.
I'm adding that to the list. Definitely.
For the 17th, you all, as you are thinking about this and contemplating it, realize that the direct opposite of fulfillment would probably be famine, considering famine is the absence of something, and fulfillment would be the,
Fulfillment of something.
Yeah. So, you all would probably think that this is changing his sense of purpose. How before the list of tasks and such that he had just changed to the one, and now his purpose of having a garden and being happy is no longer, it's just mundane. Also, Julius, when she says that this garden is a distraction, that is a lie. It's not necessarily that it's a distraction for him. It's more so that she just doesn't want him to have nicer things than her.
Well, seems like she's one giant child. Because when she said that garden thing was a lie, she doesn't want him to be happy or have better things than her.
Look at the little princess.
One overgrown snot-nosed brat.
And basically what Anne said before, things ended up becoming more
It looks like we might need to cut
geared
this short.
towards revenge.
We might want to stop for the day.
We got what info we needed. We can work off of that. I've been jotting down notes. I'll leave them here for you to hand to Themis. If you want to take pictures, copy them down for yourself. That way you can go over them.
Let's see. You want to go ahead first? Let me pull Themis out. Screen short. Screen minimizes. And if memories fall right back into Themis. You'll be fine. Maybe a bit dazed, but you'll be fine. Welcome back. Sorry, my apologies that you had to hear all that and relive it.
Is that all you needed?
As far as we can think right now, yes. I jotted down notes for you to go over when you're able. I let everybody else get a picture of it so that they've got a copy of it, but I jotted down notes of effects, instances sometimes when they happen in case some of them are circumstantial, and
you'll see some tears softly well in Themis's eyes as he just nods.
Why don't you head back to head on home, Dennis? You need some rest. Luigi, did you jot out everything you needed?
Yeah, I did. I left the paper on the counter there, on the table.
Take Themis with you. I think he needs a little bit of company.
Wanna go to your flying field, maybe? Or... Alright, bye.
Let me just pull out. Nope, have this float. And just have a pen, just jot down everything that's on here. Okay, I'm all good. There you go, sir.
thank you. Folds it up.
I'm gonna check on Themis.
Do
If
so.
I end up deciding to go and see about Shelby, I'm going to the palace with him. I'll let
Do,
you
s- do so. I
For
think
now,
he.
I'm gonna go check on Lily before we worry about Jinx and Violet.
Yeah,
To do what you have to
that's
do.
fair.
Keep Themis company until he's all calmed down. See what you can get out of Lily.
I'll probably
Cause
hold off on any serious questioning until we can get her to Wicarium. I trust the anti-scrying measures and anti-observation measures, but there have been instances of people appearing outside the barrier, and one instance of a barrier breach. So, I'm gonna wait till we get to Wicarium, where it's a lot more, it's multi-layered and it's way more foolproof.
I understand. I shall meet you both there when I'm done with business. Patience, all in all. Do what you both can. See what kind of information you can get out.
See what I can do.
Yeah.
It is Soulburn. Julius is calling Dahlia. He's gone, honey. You'll never. He's gone, honey. You'll never come back now.
Alrighty.
And damn, these are good. She's the toughest adversary to date. By far the most toughest adversary known to date. as okay as I can be. We've got a lot of ground to cover with when it comes to her.
What do you mean?
I don't want to get you involved, but what do you want to know?
If you think it's safer for me not to know, then I'll trust you.
Thank you.
Of course.
Where's your mother?
Oh, she's right behind me. Pretty sure she got distracted by the dog.
Okay. If you want cookies, there's still plenty there.
Oh, fuck yes. Alright, I'll be up in my room then.
This is one hell of a chess game. And you need to pick our moves very, very carefully.
Darling?
Hello.
Are you alright?
As okay as I can be. We got a lot on her when it comes to her abilities, thanks to Artemis and his experience on her.
That's good.
Mhm. If you want to read it, here's everything we've jotted down.
I'll probably read it later. Right now I'm concerned about you.
She treats him like a tool. And I've seen plenty of people get treated like tools, and it's just not right. I know you and Dennis don't see eye to eye, but at least I give him that. He doesn't deserve to be treated like that.
No, he doesn't. And a part of me just still can't forgive him for what he did. So it's hard to be around him.
I understand that. We're in for one hell of a fight coming.
Well, you know that I'll have your back. Come hell or high water.
I know.
Cross a shine.
Oh, so shut up.
Come on, something tells me you've had a long night. Perhaps we should get to bed.
I like that. If you do morning cookies.
Oh, you made cookies.
Yes.
Ah, you do love me.
They weren't exactly touched, so why not give it to the family? Levin took a few.
Oh, more for us then. Hell yeah. Understood. Netflix and cookies.
I feel
I love you too, sweet. I'm so sorry.
Levin. I thought that wasn't Levin.
I have a feeling he's not happy with his bandmates, perhaps.
Oh boy. Oh yeah, that's right, the barrier. That counts down.
I forgot. I'm glad me and Levin are on the wireless, otherwise we probably would have just smacked into the barrier trying to get home.
Alright. Go get. What do you feel like watching today?
How about we play Netflix roulette? One of us picks a genre, and the other just starts cycling through a bunch of movies from that genre. The other one says stop, and whatever movie we land on or show we land on, we watch.
Bet.
I'll grab the cookie. Alright, Levin, me and your father are going to watch something. I need you to keep it down, alright? Thank you. One moment. You better keep it down in here. You are not too old for us to get the belt. Okay. Good. Anyways. Apologies.
And good.
So, Oku, for Ouija's context, because Themis just wanted to get the fuck out of there. He goes to the flower field, however, the flower field, no flower right now, because of how he is feeling, the trail that you usually walk, about 4 feet out on each side from the trail, all the flowers, all the foliage has decayed, turned into ash, and the place that he usually hangs out in the ground is this inky mess, and he's just huddled in a corner, like right beside the staircase. His legs are up to his chest, and he's hugging them, and he's just has a 1,000-yard stare.